recording our service for you on Friday, even though it's usually a Sunday service. Welcome to a few minutes for renewing our reverence for life, for goodness sake. We gather in the Unitarian Universalist tradition where we seek to understand life and to care for it as best we can. Our sources of understanding are all the world's wisdom traditions: science, religion, art, philosophy, the cultures of the world, combined with our own experience and our own reflections on all of it. Our sources of caring are the potentials innate in every human person to relate well to oneself, to others, and to the source of all, however one understands it. Our church is at 100 Mirror Lake Drive in St. Petersburg, Florida. To take precautions during the coronavirus COVID-19 crisis, our Sabbath service will be here online rather than at the church until we feel it is safe to gather together in person. Thank you for joining us today, and please come be with us when we return to regular Sunday services and weekday programs. Our church past president, Paul, is helping today, as are our music director, John, and his husband, James. And I'm glad and grateful to be here as well as the church pastor. My family is at home practicing social distancing, as I hope you are. Our service this morning is abbreviated from the usual hour to about 25 minutes. It will include a bit of music, a bit of ritual, a bit for children, a brief sharing of joys and sorrows from the congregation, a reading, a moment for meditation, a prayer, a brief homily, which this morning is titled Reflections on Water: Why Be Unselfish in Scary Times and How. And after that, a few announcements about church matters, and then we'll sign off till next time. So let us begin.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Paul Bernard, member of this church, and it's very good to be with you this morning, even on film. By the way, happy belated vernal equinox. As usual, we begin our service by lighting a flame in our chalice. This is to symbolize both our communion together and our search for truth and meaning. And since two candles have already gone out, I'm forced just to light a match. There we go. Now join in if you remember the words. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. And now, John with a hymn we frequently sing, Spirit of Life.
Thank you, John. I'd like to speak to any children who might get to watch our service. So the doctors are all telling us to wash our hands well to get rid of germs. When there are colds and flus going around, like this time of year, how important is it to have clean hands all the time? Yes, very, very important. And how important is water for washing your hands? Yeah, very, very important. Water, especially with soap. To remind ourselves of how important water is, I'd like to try a little game, a little bit silly perhaps, but about important water. I call it water communion because it brings us all together and links us together and makes life good. So I'm going to name some well-known people, and I want you to tell me which waters were important to them. And if I hear some right answers out there, I'll pour clean water from this lake with seagulls into our crystal bowl. Not a crystal ball, a crystal bowl. Okay, so this is not easy, even for adults. Some of them will be stumped too. So just do your best, pay attention. First, Adam and his wife, Eve. Yes, the rivers of Eden, the Tigris and Euphrates. Zara and her husband, Noah. Yes, the flood waters that went around the world in the story. Queen Cleopatra and Pharaoh Akhenaten. Yes, the Nile River in Egypt. Kuan Yin and Confucius. Yes, the Yangtze in China. Caesar Augustus. Yes, the Rubicon in Italy. Dante and Beatrice. Yes, the river Styx in the Divine Comedy. Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand. Yes, the Atlantic Ocean, they had Columbus sail. William Shakespeare. Yes, the Thames River in England. Kunta Kinte. Yes, the Gambia River in Africa. Paul Revere. Yes, Boston Harbor. George Washington. George Washington? Yes, the Delaware River. Margaret Fuller. Yes, the Charles River. I know some of you don't know Margaret Fuller, but she's a very important voice in American history. Chief Seattle. Easy one, yes, Seattle Sound in the Pacific Northwest. Harriet Tubman. Right, the Blackwater River in and wetlands of Maryland. Henry David Thoreau. Right, Walden Pond. Mahatma Gandhi. Yes, the Indus River and the Indian Ocean. Ariel and Nemo and Dory and Ellen DeGeneres and Jacques Cousteau. Right, under the sea. Without water, none of us would be alive. We wouldn't be part of human history. There would be no humans in history. Water keeps us healthy on the inside and outside. So don't forget to wash your hands and let us be glad for water. Happy World Water Day, March 22nd.
And now we'll do joys and concerns. As you know, people were sending joys and concerns directly by mail or email to Reverend Jack, and I'll read these now. UU St. Pete member Jen Logan and her partner Dustin Schaefer announced the birth of Montgomery Joseph Schaefer on February 17th. 9 pounds, 6 ounces, and 21 inches long. Here's a picture. His nickname is Mojo, and he's a sweet baby who loves to be cuddled, go for walks in his stroller, and of course loves mommy's lullabies. The family looks forward to a blessing ceremony for Montgomery once we're able to safely gather in person again. Second joy and concern, this is UUSP member Tony De Silva, and he's happy to announce that his wife and son, who have been visiting family in India, have safely arrived back in St. Petersburg. Another, this is a joy from Joy Wombold for caring attention from neighbors and family. Another joy is that the board would like to assure you that all of our staff will continue to work and be paid during this time of physical separation. Our concern is that we still need to give our offerings and pledges to make sure all of the behind the scenes work can continue. More about that later. And also the pledge campaign has now officially started, and you will be getting information about that. And finally, with love and joy, Harry Sowers celebrates his wife Amy on her birthday this Sunday, the 22nd. And now, a song from John and James.
This is a song by Holly Near. I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us, so lift me up to the light of change. I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us, so lift me up to the light of change. There is a hurting in my family, and there is sorrow in my town. There is a panic all across the nation, and there is wailing the whole world round. But I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us, so lift me up to the light of change. May the children see more clearly, and may the elders be more wise. May the winds of change caress us, even though they burn our eyes. I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us, so lift me up to the light of change. Give me a mighty oak to hold my confusion. Give me a desert to hold my fear. Give me a sunset to hold my wonder. Give me an ocean to hold my tears. I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us, so lift me up to the light of change. So lift me up to the light of change.
And here's a reading about washing up from Nobel Peace Prize nominee Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh. While washing your hands, you should only be washing your hands, completely aware of the fact that you are washing your hands. Why stress such a simple thing? The point is, washing your hands is wondrous reality. You are being completely yourself, following your breath, conscious of your presence, conscious of your thoughts and actions. There's no way you can be tossed around like a mindless bottle on the ocean. While washing your hands, you might be thinking about the tea or juice you're to drink afterwards with your friend. And so you try to get washing your hands out of the way as quickly as possible. But that means that you are not really living during the time you're washing your hands. When you wash your hands, washing your hands must be the most important thing in your life. And when you drink your tea and juice with friends, drinking your tea and juice with friends must be the most important thing in your life. Should you wash your hands or get them clean? Of course. But most important, wash your hands to appreciate washing your hands. Warmth, bubbles, slipperiness, preciousness. Wash each hand as if it were a baby. You will experience a miracle.
Let's take just a moment for a very, very short meditation. If you place one hand over the other, palm to palm, and now while you're watching your hand, just breathe peacefully. We're going to do that for 20 seconds. And now, if you would, just flip hands. And again, breathe peacefully until I let us know 20 seconds have passed. "40 seconds total. That's the time it takes to wash your hands twice very thoroughly. The safest way that you can keep the germs off your hands. So, hello again. We miss you. We wish we were together in our beautiful old sanctuary. These feel like scary times. Why be unselfish during scary times? The experts say that the next to the last stage of spiritual development is caring for your neighbor as for yourself, with your neighbor being whomever you will help. How ironic that we are faced with a situation in which we are actually asked to avoid our neighbors, and that this would be the most caring thing that we can do. To not get infected and to not infect. That is our question. That is our quest. Flatten the curve, not the world. But social or physical distancing does not mean severing connection or caring. Some in our congregation and community are going to need our help. And to be a neighbor in these scary times, by our definition, will be to find a way to help. Here's a little known bit of history. The early Christians took seriously Jesus' Jewish teaching on caring for your neighbor as for yourself. In the Greek language of the Gospels, he was not talking about emotional love, eros or philios. He was talking about active love, taking care of people, agape in the Greek. That's the word he always used. Take care, be caring, be charitable. Caring is a human potential for a person of any age, though it becomes more conscious and skillful with experience and awareness. We can gradually become conscious that we do have a choice, surviving alone or thriving together. There were a number of plagues and pandemics in the Mediterranean world, both before and after Jesus' time, always killing thousands of people. Despite the epidemics after his time, the size of the Christian community mushroomed into the millions. Why? Researchers hypothesize that one of the major reasons, perhaps the only most powerful reason, is that not only did the Christians preach care for your neighbor, they practiced it in a way no other part of the Greco-Roman world was doing. The standard response at that time of the rich and powerful leaders of the Greco-Roman religions left the populated area behind during epidemics to self-isolate in their God-dwelling mountain resorts and retreats. But the Christian population did not flee, though it was primarily well-to-do. Its members brought food, water, money, and care to their neighbors throughout the community. Researchers calculate that the Christian portion of the population had a 30% higher survival rate over the everyone for yourselfers. The people noticed and joined, and the neighborhood of Christianity grew on that principle till empire finally was forced to co-opt it. Did the people attribute the obviously high survival rate to God caring more for Christians, or to Christians caring more for neighbors? I don't know. But people joined the community of caregivers and did likewise. It is not a form, is it not, a form of narcissism to look upon the precious waters of life and see only yourself, rather than the whole world behind you, embracing you, holding you, sheltering you, and needing the same caring in return? To protect and serve is simple wisdom in almost any circumstance. And wonderfully, it is one of the highest levels of fulfillment and well-being. It is my understanding that the most fulfilled stage of human development comes at moments when you sense that you as an individual are of the same creative energy and substance as the seemingly unlimited source of creative energy and substance. And so is everything else and everyone else. Again, awareness learned from experience can deepen and extend that sense, even to living in ongoing consciousness of it. People have called it a state of grace, with those living it experienced as gracious. The sense we have of graciousness, from mystic to microbiologist to quantum cosmologist, is oneness. One in being, one in energy, one in creativity. Then we become one in kindness and caring. Then we become humankind. Then our surviving and our thriving grows. In our scary times, then, is not our way thoughtfulness and caring for whomever we can call our neighbor. We have a few announcements before we conclude our service.
Here are some announcements. As you may know, longtime members Marcio Powers and Kiwi McAlevey operate a home delivery service of locally grown boxes of vegetables and fruit from small local farmers. The charge per box is $20, plus a tip requested for their delivery drivers. You can check our Infonet newsletter for their webpage to order. The second one is, we hope you've heard that all group gatherings at church are postponed until it's safe again. We urge everyone to stay home so that you neither get infected nor infect. But if the isolation is getting to you, you may meet with Reverend Jack during the noon hour at church, Tuesdays through Fridays, and on Sundays. Don't worry, you'll be sitting apart in the open air on our portico right by Gilmore Hall. You may also contact Caring Committee Chair Patty Hanks if you would like to report a request for assistance. And then finally, for the next few weeks, our financial contributions for keeping our beloved community strong and connected must come by alternate means, because we can't pass the offering basket through the computer. So you can either, 1, mail your check, 2, have your bank send your contribution electronically, or 3, contribute via our website, which is probably the easiest, at the Giving tab, where it says Donate Now. Please don't forget that the work of our community continues. The coronavirus's obstacles, despite the obstacles. And now, it's time to extinguish the chalice. And as I extinguish the chalice, say the words of parting together, if you can remember them. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of love, or the fire of courage. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world.
Thank you, Paul and John and James, and thanks to all of you who are with us. I'll close in a way that I have never closed at the church services before, and probably never will again, with a new rendition of Amazing Grace that was posted by a minister somewhere. Amazing soap, how sweet the smell that keeps our hands germ-free. Please wash your hands and dry them too, that we might healthy be. Apologies to everybody, but take care and be well.